A lot of people always ask, can you work online by just using your phone? And today I'm going to be very honest with you guys. If you are looking for a full-time salaried position or a part-time salaried position, you are not going to win by just using your phone. But there are some online gigs that you can do online to earn yourself a little extra income. And that's what we're going to be covering in today's video. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Fafi and I am currently working 3 remote jobs, that is 2 full-time positions and 1 part-time. So on here, I like to share remote work insights, remote work tips that will help you land your own remote job. So let's get into today's video. But before we get into the platforms you can do some phone work, online phone work on, I want to really properly disclose why exactly you can't work online by just using your phone. So the thing is, you can't exactly build an online remote career without a laptop, without a computer. And I'm not just saying this to discourage you. I'm saying this because I want to protect you from having unrealistic expectations from remote work. When you're working online, when you're working remotely, you need to be able to accommodate remote work. Accommodating remote work means you have your laptop, you probably have a PC, you have backup power like an inverter, and you have like a strong internet connection. Those are the things, these are non-negotiables in remote work. You can't expect a company to send you equipment if you don't actually have the proper skills, the proper experience, or maybe they don't have it in their budget to send you those things. I recently got my tech because I do have specialized skills in what I'm working in. Okay. So you need to be able to accommodate remote work. That is the simple fact of it. On to another issue, that being some sites, some applications, some softwares, they are not mobile friendly. They literally can't open using your phone. I do know a platform, a CRM platform, and quite a few platforms actually, they are not mobile friendly, meaning that you can open it on your phone, but you won't be able to work properly. They need a bigger screen. They need a laptop. They need a computer. So without that, like the system, the software can actually detect that, oh, okay, this person is using a mobile phone. This person is using their smartphone, and that site or software won't properly behave, and you will be unable to do your work. You can use your phone to complement your work. I've mentioned this before. You can use your phone to respond to team messages. You can respond to emails. Maybe you went out, you are not going to carry your laptop when you go outdoors, but you can carry your phone. Have your Gmail or Outlook app on the phone, respond to emails. If you have Microsoft Teams, you can respond to your Teams messages by just using your phone. You don't need to carry a laptop. So that means your phone is just a small part of the remote work. I do my work on my laptops, on my PC. I carry my phone to respond to messages when I'm not on my workstation. That's my phone being part of remote work, not the full thing, like not the full setup. You need more. So I always advise people, if you want to get a laptop, how I started, if you watch my video on how I started my first remote job, literally with no laptop, I had to borrow from someone. So if you can borrow from someone, that is perfect. If you can sell some stuff on the side, maybe you can sell fruits, you can sell vegetables, you can sell clothes, you can sell wigs, and save up to buy a laptop. Or you could be going to an internet cafe and literally just be applying. If you have interviews, you're going to go to that internet cafe, use their laptops and computers there. If you're going to be working, just maybe work for 1 month and then get your money and then buy your own stuff. That is literally it. Okay. So before I jump into all these other platforms I'm going to share with you, I really, really, really wanted to let it known that you can't work online, expect a full-time salary by just using your phone. Now, I hope that is nailed in your head, you guys, because you can't keep asking, can I work? Can I do this with just my phone? Can I do this with just some phone? No, you need a laptop. You need a laptop if you want to get a full-time or even part-time position. This first platform that I'm sharing with you guys is called Premises or premise.com. Yeah. I really like this application because I personally have experience with it, and I will be sharing and showing you guys everything. What premise is that they are a task-based mobile application that focuses on real-world data collection. So companies often need information from different locations. So what they do is that they are not going to send physical people to these different locations. So what they do is crowdsource that data through the users. So users register on the application and you're basically collecting information for them that they need to use. So what kind of tasks does Premise offer, or like the kind of tasks that I'm talking about that I personally have experience with? So you might be asked to take pictures of products in stores. I did do a couple of those missions, a couple of those tasks where I was sent to take pictures of ATMs, to take pictures of refrigerators, to take pictures of microwaves, that sort of thing. And they might also ask you to check prices like, okay, the price of bread in this location is this much. Let's compare that price to the price of bread in location B. Are they the same thing? That's them collecting data. So they send out people in location A and location B so that they collect prices of the bread in said locations and just compare it through their data collection. And then you might also be asked to verify business details. And another thing is that you can also answer short surveys using their platform. You are also supposed to report availability of certain items in store. I did do one of those whereby I actually did go to have to compare the prices. I'm not quite sure what product it was, but just compare the prices of, let's just say, maybe this remote in location or store A. And then I have to go to store B to find that exact remote and see how much it is. So you submit data on both store A and store B prices. And that's the task, literally just comparing prices. And yeah, I've personally had experience with it. I've personally been paid. And as you guys know, I always attach what I'm talking about. So I will be sharing the screenshots when they paid me and stuff. So this is how it works. You are going to download the application. Or you download it on Apple Store or Google Play Store. It's like a very legit platform. You download the application, you create an account. It's very easy to create an account. And then you literally just wait to see tasks which are available in your location. So sometimes your location, like currently I am home, I can't see anything. There is no task. But if I move to maybe, I just walk around 500 meters away, you literally don't have to go maybe to a different city or to a different suburb. Maybe just 500 meters or even 100 meters away, you just toggle on your phone, just refresh, and you will see some certain tasks appear if there's a task in that specific location. And then some tasks are literally just simple surveys. Some tasks will require you to go to specific locations, like what I was asked to go to different stores. I went to check the prices of things. I went to check products. I also went to check, like, take pictures of ATMs. I mean, I don't have an ATM at home, so you definitely do need to go to a place where there's an ATM. So now let's move on to the payment. And payment is very much in US dollars. They pay in US dollars, and it's often in PayPal. Sometimes it does depend with your location. They do have some availability of crypto. I think Bitcoin as a form of payment in certain locations. That's not everywhere, in certain locations. But for the vast majority, I was paid through PayPal. PayPal is what they use the most. So the payouts for the task vary. You can have tasks with just paying 25 cents. You can have tasks which pay you maybe $4. You can have tasks which pay you $5, $8. The payment structure really does vary depending on the specific task. But then again, this is not a guaranteed daily income. Some days have tasks, some days don't have tasks. What really depends on is your location, because a lot of these tasks are location based. So if you're in an area whereby you're not going to find tasks in that specific area, then you will have less earning potential from this application. Now, we are going to speak about the pros and cons of using Premise. And number one, Premise is fully remote. You can do the task anywhere from anywhere in the world, fully remote. I mean, you're not reporting into a workspace, you're not clocking into work basically. You can just do it anywhere. Number two, it's flexible. You can do some certain tasks at home, you can do certain tasks while you're out and about. Maybe you just went to the mall, log onto the application, just refresh and see if there's any test there. Maybe you went to a doctor's appointment, log onto the app, refresh, see if there's any appointments. Sorry, see if there's any test available for you. And then legit payouts. Coming from me, I've personally used it. They do pay. They will pay you. If you do the task and your tasks are approved, they are going to pay you what you earned. And the payment process is very easy. They do use PayPal and the money doesn't take too long. You do need to reach a certain threshold to get your payment. So if maybe the minimum is like $10 or $20, if you are doing tasks for 25 cents, it's going to take you longer. But let's say you do 5 tasks, all those 5 tasks are at $4 payout. I mean, you already at your payout threshold. So it now depends on how many tasks you're doing, which will amount to that specific payment threshold. Another pro is that there is no long-term commitment. You just freely, willy nilly do the task whenever, whatever time that you like. There is no contracts. You don't have to feel like, oh my God, I have to do it today. Oh my God, I have to do it. No, you can do it as you please. Now, let's talk about the cons. Number one, premise tasks are location dependent. So if I'm just here, I don't see any locations. That's not going to change in quite some time. That will not change. There will be no looking. There will be no task in my area. But maybe if I do go to the mall, if I just go maybe to my friend's house, maybe there are some tasks that will come out from those specific locations. So it's very heavy on location. So sometimes you can see that maybe your location is not really the best. They're not trying to collect data in your specific location. And then another thing, because of the location inconsistency, it then leads to income inconsistency because you don't know when you're going to get tasks. That means you don't know when you're going to get money. That becomes very inconsistent, which is why I say to you guys, this is not full time. This is for maybe you're looking to get a little money to cover small bills, to cover small things in the house, things like that. So you're not going to be getting like a full monthly income from this. It is very inconsistent. And then some tasks require effort for very, very small pay. And I did feel this for some of the location take pictures tasks that I did receive. Like I would be asked to maybe take 20 or even 30 pictures of stuff, but then the payout for that task in general was just not it. I actually had to travel sometimes to get to these specific locations. And when you factor in the travel cost and like what I'm going to get after the task is complete, then it's not really balancing at the end of the day. So these are mostly like the cons from what I have personally experienced with the app. But if you are looking for an application that will allow you to just do the work at home, you don't want to travel, you don't want to go to specific locations, this next platform is for you. Platform number two is called user interviews. So user interviews connects people with companies. These companies are mostly conducting research. So companies want feedback on their products, on their apps, or even their services or websites. So instead of guessing what customers think, they pay real people to participate in surveys or to participate in questionnaires or even one-on-one interviews. You can apply to studies, and if you get selected, you do the study, you complete it, and then you get paid. Studies can be anywhere from maybe 1 hour to even 30 minutes, sometimes 1.5 hours. It depends on the length of that, say, specific study. And how it works is that you create a profile and then you fill in your details, and then you are going to browse available studies. Sometimes what they do is they actually send you available studies through the email that you registered with them. So they will be sending you available studies. They're like, hey, we have this study available. Can you take a screener or a screening test to see if you are a perfect match for that specific study? The important part is that you will not qualify for every survey or for every study that they have. You might apply to 10 and you actually might end up getting one. And that's okay, because that's actually how they work. They're very high priority. They want people who have the exact answers, the exact opinions on whatever specific study that they want answers to. And if you are selected, you then attend the session. This is usually via Zoom. And then you honestly just provide the feedback that they require, feedback on the service or the product. Now, let us talk about the payment. So studies can pay anywhere from $30, from $50, $75 to even $100. This platform does pay highly as compared to the other platforms, the first platform and the remaining platform I'm going to talk about. So it does pay highly and sometimes more. It really depends on what that specific company has paid user interviews and what user interviews is going to pay you. And then payment is typically in PayPal, and they also do gift cards. So I have a lot of people on here who are always struggling to set up PayPal. So the first platform can pay you in crypto, in Bitcoin, and then this platform can pay you in gift cards. And the payout is higher for every session, but the thing with them is that the frequency is very low. I can't remember the last time I got an invitation to a study with them, because like they don't always have these studies. Like you can get a study today and the next study that you get will be in June. So it's not consistent. So with that, let's now talk about the pros and cons of using user interviews to make a little online money. First pro being, I mean, obviously the high payouts. It's higher money. You will get more money as compared to other online applications, other online gig sites that you can find. You will be paid a lot more higher. And it's like maybe a once-off payment, but with that once-off payment, it actually does cover like some stuff that you might need to get. And another thing is that it is fully online. Like, clocking in, I did mention you're not going to an office. You're not going to have a whole work from home workspace. You can just do this on your phone, fully online. And then there is no selling, there is no recruiting. You're not selling anything, you are not recruiting anybody. Now, let's go over to the cons. The main con being very inconsistent. Like you are not always getting invitations to studies. You are not always going to get a match. You're not always going to be matched, to these studies. And it is very competitive because a lot of people, and now I'm assuming because a lot of people are also going to watch this video, it's going to be a whole lot more competition. So very, very highly competitive and not consistent. And another thing that comes with the inconsistency is that it's not predictable. Like really, you can't predict when you're going to get your next survey. So that's the pros and cons of user interviews. Now, Clickworkers is a micro task platform. So what does micro task mean? I mean, micro is like small, and then task. So it's like, you get to do small tasks. It pays users to perform small online tasks. And this task can include things like surveys, things like research tasks, categorizing data, and even AI training, data labeling. Some tasks can be done by just using your phone. However, I will make a note that there are some tasks which require you to use a laptop. So if you don't have a laptop, you can just, in the meantime, do the tasks that require you to just use your phone. And then how it works is that you will create an account, you create your profile, and then you take short assessments, and then you'll be able to gain access to the tasks that they have available on their website. You choose tasks, and then you complete them, then you submit them. They will review the task, and then you get paid. That's simply that. You get paid once that specific task is approved. you've done that task correctly with no problems at all, with no cheating, and then they approve it and then you get paid. In terms of payment, payment does vary, and this depends on the task complexity and also the time required for that specific task. And another thing is that the skill level. So you have very simple tasks, which like, it's very simple. And then you have tasks which require a certain level of skill. So it all depends on the certain specific task that you will get. And then payment options often include PayPal. So they mostly use PayPal for their payments. But then again, these are very small tasks. So you can't exactly expect a full-time income from this. You're not always going to get tasks. Some tasks do pay small amounts and others pay depending on the complexity. So the structure of how much you will get paid does depend on the certain task that you have available. So yeah, it is very inconsistent and it fluctuates, and also just the task availability does change within certain areas. So it is important to note that I have made videos on CVs. I have made videos on recruitment companies that you can check out if you are looking for legit, real full-time salaried or part-time positions, which you can check out. This video was more for people who aren't looking into getting into full-time. Maybe they don't have a laptop or computer yet. You can do this even if you are working full-time remotely. You can do this with your phone. You can do this without having to invest in buying all this tech. This is like something that you can do in the meantime. But I want to note that this will not replace a full-time salary. These gigs are very inconsistent. So these gigs are mostly perfect for maybe students. Maybe you want to get some lunch money, you want some money to buy textbooks. These gigs are also perfect for people who are looking for jobs and are in need of some income. You're currently job hunting and you just need a little something. It's perfect for that. You are not going to get a full-time salary. You're just getting a little something. These gigs are also perfect for freelancers who are looking for additional income. And also it's perfect for people who are in between jobs. Maybe you left your job A, you want to get into job B, but before you get into job B, you just need a little something. This is something that you can do. So I've made the notes. I hope you guys got it. It's not full time. It will not replace a full time salary. And I think these platforms are open to everyone else. These platforms are open to like globally, and you can just do this by just using your phone. Now, you can use these platforms as stepping stones into like working online, doing some online gigs, but they are not going to replace a full time remote job. So do be mindful of that. Now, all right, guys, these are all the platforms I have for today. I will link all of these platforms in the description so that you can click on the link and then you literally go to the site and register. For Premise, you actually have to download the application. Go on Google Play Store, App Store, and download Premises. And that's about it. So I hope you guys found this video very helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.